possible, but I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Shannon Kringen. I live in Seattle. My hair is a mess. I just woke up. I have no makeup on. I'm just sitting in my bathrobe in solitude, isolating everyone. I don't really like the word isolate, but I'm in solitude. I'm an introvert, and I live by myself with my cat. So I am finding myself having a certain amount of anxiety about the whole virus thingy, Mick Jagger. Of course, I take it seriously, but I'm also somebody who believes in being really careful about what I just watched in terms of keeping my immune system healthy. I'm 51 years old. I don't have any chronic health conditions. I have anxiety and depression, so I have mental health challenges from time to time, but I don't have any chronic diseases. I don't have exercise every day, and I sleep 8 hours every night, and I drink a lot of water with mineral salt and lemon juice in it, which is a good natural electrolyte that you can make without sugar. I'm sitting here live on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm using my webcam for YouTube and my smartphone for Facebook. Never done this before at the same time. So I'm concerned about staying healthy and not dying from this. And I'm sorry if that sounds cavalier or insensitive. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. My friend, I don't know anybody personally who's very ill right now with this or dying. But my friend knows two people, two male friends of his. One is in the hospital getting serious treatment for this virus. I don't like to say the word out loud, but this virus that we're having in 2020, I don't like to say it because everyone is saying it. I don't know. I don't like following the herd of that. But this virus that can be fatal. So I do know indirectly two people. One is at home with a high fever trying to fight this thing, and the other person is in the hospital, and I don't know what's going to happen to him. And I don't really know him. It's a friend of a friend. So I do indirectly know two people that are very ill from this. And then on Facebook, there's a few friends of mine that seem like they're ill from this, or they think it might be this. So it's good to I'm staying home most of the time. I went to the store a few days ago. I went for a walk yesterday with my friend, and even he and I were 6 feet away from each other. And in the car, he wore a mask. So I have gloves and I'm medicated, and we don't, as humans, really know as much about the immune system as I thought. The more I learned about medicine, the more I realized it's partly a guessing game. And I'm a big proponent for eating in a way that keeps your immune system as good as possible. But they say if you eat a lot of sugar and refined carbohydrates, it suppresses your immune system. But now I'm thinking in this case, maybe if you have a super, super, super amazing immune system, it might work against you, which is a really frightening thing. So therefore, a lot of the people that have been dying have had other immune system problems. But apparently some of the people that are dying are having really bad complications from this, have good immune systems. And the theory is that their immune system is overreacting because our immune systems are not used to this virus. And so it's like our bodies are confused and they're like freaking out and overreacting. And because of the immune response to this virus, we are having complications. And that is frightening to me. So that means that if you have a good immune system, they might actually put you at a risk. If you have a really weak immune system, it puts you at a risk. And if you have an amazing, good immune system, it might actually also put you at a risk. So maybe like the safest people are the ones that have an immune system that's not super amazing, but not weak. So somewhere in the middle. So my solution is to stay at home. I did an art modeling job last Thursday and Friday, and now I don't have any in-person modeling jobs booked, which is probably good. So I'm staying home with my cat, and I have a whole bunch of food, and I have ways I can make money online that I'm exploring, thankfully. And so I'm going to be okay financially, I hope. I feel horrible for people that are in financial dire straits right now. I am not one of those people, and I'm very grateful, and I don't mean to be bragging. I said a couple positive things, and some guy said, hey, don't brag. And I'm like, okay, I'm not meaning to brag. I guess I shouldn't brag, but I'm focused on the gratitude. The gratitude. Maybe I should do what Deepak Chopra is doing and spend a week offline. He actually went into silence. I was watching every day Deepak Chopra meditation inspirational videos that he was recording because everyone's freaking out, and he was trying to tell people a lot of really rational scientific things and spiritual things. And to me, science and God are the same thing. I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual, and I believe in science and nature. And to me, God is nature. And so I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. So I like Deepak Chopra because he talks about science and being practical and being physically safe and functional, but he also talks about the mind and how your emotional self affects your health, your physical health. So your body and your mind are connected. And so if you take good care of your mental health, it helps your body function better. And that's a practical science. That's a scientific thing and a practical thing and a spiritually wise thing. So I like wisdom. So I'm getting a lot of sleep and I'm staying hydrated. I am drinking the natural electrolyte water that I make with lemon juice and mineral salts. I also have unsweetened electrolyte powder. Somebody said too that um, magnesium is a very good thing to relax your muscles and relax your heart, and literally relaxes your heart muscle and all of your muscles in your body. And that magnesium is a mineral that helps us deal with stress and helps us relax and could be helpful in this situation that we're in right now, because this is a double whammy. It's a financial economic crisis as well as a medical safety physical health crisis. So I admit I'm feeling a lot of anxiety. I'm trying not to watch too much news because people are going on and on and on about all of the fear, and not enough people are talking about the immune system. But I guess we don't really know. Again, if you have a really good immune system, it might work against you. This virus, your body might freak out, and the lung complications that some people are having that are dying might be their own immune system that's trying really hard to fight this thing and doesn't really know how to fight it. And so then your lungs build up with fluid and then you end up dying because they can't get enough oxygen into you. And that's really weird and frightening. And one guy that almost died that was in his 40s that I read about, his lungs kept filling with fluid and they kept having to drain the fluid out of his lungs and give him oxygen. And he pulled through. He miraculously survived. And I guess he's doing better at home now. He went to Italy and with a school. He was a school teacher. He's still alive. He is a school teacher. So I just read about that. And I think he had asthma, though he did have a prior health condition. But there are some people I'm hearing about that are healthy and don't have health conditions, and they're getting extremely ill and or dying. So this thing is not, if you're young and healthy, you're not immune to having complications from this virus, apparently. So I'm 51 and I have a good immune system as far as I know, and I don't have any chronic diseases other than I have a tendency towards, only I had hypothyroidism, hypothyroidism, low active thyroid, which I think is called hyperthyroidism is too active of a thyroid. I had an underactive thyroid, hypothyroidism, which might have been Hashimoto's. So a naturopathic doctor told me if I stopped eating the thyroid. So I'm not on any medications right now. I was on an antidepressant for a while, off and on, called Wellbutrin, but I'm off that now. I tapered off that and I'm fine. So I'm not on any medications. So I'm grateful. I'm not bragging. I'm just grateful that I don't have to go to a pharmacy and get anything. I don't need any medications. I'm not on anything. So, um, I am taking ashwagandha, which is an herb, and vitamin D, and I have spirulina, and I have turkey tail, which is a mushroom extract that I got, ironically, at the food bank. Nobody else wanted it. It was a supplement at the food bank they had. So, again, I hope this is working. I'm on YouTube and Facebook. YouTube with my webcam, Facebook with my smartphone. Um, so I am a person who wants to be as healthy as I can, but when I hear about the immune system and how even if you have a healthy immune system, your body actually might freak out and react to this thing, and you could die from complications because your immune system is trying really hard to fight this thing, and it's maybe over just sharing my honest feelings about this. Sorry if it upsets anybody. And then people tell me I shouldn't apologize. But the thing is, I'm an eccentric person, and I say things in ways that seems to offend people, and that's why I say I'm sorry if I'm upsetting anybody with my words. But I guess if I'm upsetting you, you can just turn the video off and not listen to what anybody. We went for a walk yesterday in the park, and we stayed away from people. And even with each other, we walked, a few feet from each other. We're not hugging or kissing right now. We're just playing it safe. I've been around more people than him because I went to the grocery store a few times and the pet food store where I get my cat's health food. My cat is on a special raw meat diet, and I get his food at the healthy pet food store. I get freeze-dried raw meat for my cat and freeze-dried frozen meat for my cat. So my cat's on a special diet, so I have to go to a special store to get his food. And I'm on a special concerned about. I wish more people would talk about the immune system and staying healthy. But then again, when I hear about, there are some people who have good immune systems who are having complications from this. So some people's immune systems overreact. And so having a good immune system might not save you from this virus. And so that's all the more reason to stay by yourself as much as you can and do what they suggest, which is to stay home as much as possible from each other when we breathe in and out. It's not just from sneezing and coughing. It's also just from, apparently when we breathe, there's moisture particles, floating around in the air, and we could be sharing. But not everybody, thankfully, not everybody exposed to this virus is getting deathly ill. I mean, more people would be dead right now if that were the case. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm one of those people that would have a bad reaction or not, especially because I just watched a video about healthy immune systems and how they can react. I know that I stopped eating all wheat 8 years ago in 2012, and I stopped eating rice. I eat rice occasionally when I have sushi, or just every once in a while I have rice and beans or something, but I don't eat any oats. I don't eat grains. I don't really eat rice or wheat. Mostly I don't eat any wheat. I eat some potato. So I eat some carbohydrates, but I eat only in the form of like fruits and vegetables. I don't eat flour of any kind. Um, I got some almond flour and it made me feel sick. So I don't think almond flour is good for me. But I don't know. I'm rambling on about nutrition now. So everybody, I wish everybody well. My advice is to stay away from people as much as you can, because even if you have a healthy immune system, your body might freak out if you're exposed to this thing. So, but I do believe in being as healthy as you possibly can and eating. They say if you take a lot of pain medications, it can suppress you, which isn't good. But then at the same time, if you have a really good immune system, it might overreact to this virus. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So maybe the safest people from this virus are the ones that have not a supercharged immune system, but like a basic healthy immune system that's not weak but not supercharged. So I don't really know. We don't really know. So I think people watch the news because they want to be told the truth, and they want to be told what's happening, and they want to be reassured of something. And the truth is we don't know. And I work with medical students. I pretend to be a patient with medical students. And the more I learn about medicine, the more I realize that a lot of it is a guessing game. And doctors are told to reassure patients that they know what they're doing. And to some extent, doctors, are professional and do everything they can to help people. But in medicine, it's a guessing game, and we're still trying to figure out the immune system. I thought in the year of 2020, we knew more about the immune system. We really don't fully know. It's pretty complicated, apparently, how the immune system works and how some people have such a different reaction to this virus. Some people just get mildly ill or no symptoms at all, and some people die, and we don't really know all the answers to this. And so we have to live with uncertainty. That's kind of why I like to listen to Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra and Marianne Williamson. They all talk about, and the Buddhist, who's that guy, Gabor Mate, and Russell, what's the guy's name? Russell Brand did a good interview yesterday with Gabor Mate, who's a Canadian psychotherapist with a PhD. Everything is impermanent, and we all are going to die someday. So this virus and economic upheaval is a good opportunity actually to practice detachment and practice accepting what is instead of fighting against what is. You know, we're in an uncomfortable situation financially and medically right now. It's a double whammy. And I'm finding myself feeling very angry that the USA government is totally fine giving lots of money to large corporations and the military, billions and billions and billions of dollars for Wall Street, large companies and the military and the banks, but not for the average Americans. And our healthcare system, you know, is very wasteful and spends a lot of money on not giving people healthcare. So I'm finding myself feeling very angry about that, and how the truth is the US government could afford to give us all $2,000 for a month or $1,000 a month for a few months. The UK government apparently is I think the chancellor of the UK said that they're going to pay people 80% of their salaries. The UK government has already told its people that it's going to help them financially. And whereas the United States government is arguing about what we're going to do or not do, and the Democrats and Republicans are arguing about it, and the Democrats are trying to, you know, speak up for the average low income or middle class person, and the Republicans are mostly interested in helping the wealthy people that run this country like it's their own private bank, and they're all like embezzling and hoarding money because they're afraid of being poor. That's what I think. So I'm really mad about that, but I don't want to waste my time feeling angry about things I can't control. And I don't have any control over what congressmen and senators do, although I can ask them to please do the right thing. But I don't have control. I'm a low income person in Seattle. I have cheap rent. My lifestyle is really cheap, and so I'm kind of like middle class, even though on paper I look really poor. I don't feel poor. I feel fine. Um, so I have a very simple lifestyle, and I don't know, I'm going to be okay. So I'm just telling you how I feel right now. So thanks for being here. I'll probably do another video later. So thanks to my YouTube people and thanks to my Facebook people. I'm going to see if this video worked that I recorded on 2 places at once. So YouTube and Facebook. So this is Shannon Kringen, Goddess Kring in Seattle. I have a radio show called Goddess Kring Radio. I did a public access TV show called Goddess Kring for 15 years. I love to share. I'm pretty introverted, actually. This is my way of sharing with the world. So if you want to see my artwork, just go to my website, shannonkringen.com, and you can find links to like music and poetry and photography. And, you know, art right now is really important. I think that art makes me feel better. I'm so glad I got to model for an art teacher a few days ago, just her and I at the college together by ourselves, practicing, you know, safety and washing our hands a lot and staying away from each other. But we were in the art studio together for 8 hours, 2 days in a row. So that was my last official modeling job for this foreseen future. And now I got to send photos to a few different art schools that are doing online classes for the next few months. I think until September, things might be really different, maybe even 18 months. But I think that the art schools where I model, a lot of them are going to be online only until, I don't know, for the next few months, maybe. I don't really know. They don't really know. I know the UW here in Seattle is going to be online till June, at least. Some of the other schools say they might open again in April, in late April, but I don't know if that's really true or not. So we don't know what's going to happen. The sun is shining here in Seattle. I thought it was supposed to rain today, but it's sunny right now. So I might go for a walk later if there's no people out there. I think I might even wear a mask if I go out walking. Um, my mom gave me a couple masks, and those N95 or whatever they're called, masks. And so I hope my words are helpful to some people. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody. People always tell me, don't say you're sorry. But I don't know how not to say I'm sorry. So I'm just going to say I'm sorry if anything I said offended people. I think I might be a little bit autistic, meaning I have a little different way of interpreting things. And I say things that maybe sound insensitive at times because I talk honestly about death. I eat meat and I talk about death. And I think that freaks a lot of people out. And that reminds me of Temple Grandin talking. She's the autistic lady with the PhD who is really intelligent, but she's emotionally wired a little differently. And I almost think I'm one of those kind of people. Not that I'm a genius or anything like that. I'm a genius. No, I'm not a genius, but I feel like I have some intelligent insights to share. And at the same time, I'm oblivious. I'm oblivious in some ways, and yet I'm really smart in other ways. And so it's kind of I'm kind of weird, and I see shapes when I hear music and blah, blah, blah. So art and music is very important. Having a modeling job the last few days, it earned me money, but I also felt a sense of purpose and sense of community. So I'm turning to musicians really inspire me. Tom Petty and Tori Amos remind me to be true to myself and remind me to focus on love and creativity and open-minded trailblazers, whistleblowers and trailblazers. I will never be a person that makes fun of people that have different ideas. In the 1800s, there was a doctor, I forgot his name, but I linked it yesterday in my blog. There was a doctor who came up with the idea because he noticed a lot of people were dying when the doctors were working with cadavers or doing autopsies, and then they helped women give birth. A lot of people were dying and getting really sick. And he figured out that maybe we should wash our hands. Maybe this is before doctors realized they needed to clean their hands when they went from one patient to another. And he was laughed at and ridiculed. This doctor had the guts to say, hey, I think we need to change what we do, medical people. The medical protocol needed to change, and he suggested that, and doctors were insulted, and they made fun of him and they ridiculed him and ostracized. Although I'm not into spreading fear and not saying things that are helpful, but I'm not going to ever make fun of people that entertain the idea that the mainstream narrative is not fully accurate or correct. I feel like people should think for themselves and go ahead and listen to the so-called experts, but also use your own common sense and don't lose touch with your own inner wisdom. So I believe in doing both. I believe in being practical and careful and taking good care of yourself and getting enough sleep and listening to a variety of news sources. I'm listening to a lot of doctors and nutritionists and philosophers and psychologists, and I don't like a lot of the mainstream news because it's very stressful, and they have like, I don't even have a TV. I have just I have a flat screen TV that I have a VCR plugged into it, so I just watch videos. So my news source is online only, and I got rid of my television in 2007, and I don't miss it. So a lot of the mainstream news is very, very stressful. And of course, we have a president right now that tells us that all the news is fake. And so it makes people want to rebel and watch news all day long. And I'm not doing that. My way of rebelling, because I'm not a fan of the current president, I'm a fan of Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Sorry if I said her name wrong. I'm very progressive, and I like whistleblowers, and I like trailblazers and people that come up with new ideas. The right brother, be some people with new ideas about how to deal with this virus. Um, so I'm interested in creative, open-minded thinking, and I refuse to march to the meat grinder and just follow the herd. So sorry if that sounds judgmental. You know, I can't not say I'm sorry because I do say things that are judgmental. I do. I'm kind of a judgmental person. I like to think that I'm kind and compassionate and have a lot of empathy for others, and I'm trying to be more kind to myself and not be so mean to myself. But you know, I'm not Jesus, I'm not Buddha, I'm not the Dalai Lama. Charles Manson said, I ain't no Sunday school teacher. I ain't no Sunday school teacher. And I thought that was really funny. He was interviewed by Diane Sawyer or something and he's like, I ain't no Sunday school teacher. He's like, I know I'm not a role model for most people. It's like, I kind of like that honesty of Charles Manson there. He was a pretty dark, disturbed human being. So, to say the least. So there it is. So I'm not Darth Vader, but I'm also not Luke Skywalker. I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I feel like I'm kind of competitive, and I have a lot of fear. I have a fear of scarcity. I've been stockpiling food for years from the food bank, and so I have I'm not bragging. I'm just saying this is how I survive because I'm afraid. So I have a bunch of food in my freezer and my shelves, non-perishable foods, and I have I don't eat sugar and junk food though. I don't have any boxes of crackers or cookies or carbs, or I don't eat bread, but I have like beans and mostly beans, actually, canned food. 28 years, and the last 10 or 15 years I've been working really hard. Ever since I got a car, I didn't even get my first car until 2012, and my income doubled when I got a car because I can drive to every modeling job that wanted me to work. And so I've been saying yes to every modeling job for years, to the point where I was exhausted. And so now I get to rest. And thankfully, financially, I'm okay because my lifestyle is so cheap. I don't really need a lot of money to survive. Thankfully, I don't have any kids, just my cat and my houseplants. Um, so I just wanted to share. So I believe in keeping an open mind and having my own free thoughts, and I think everybody should be encouraged to, well, responsibly. I don't believe in spewing information that isn't helpful. I believe in being careful about what you share with other people if you have different ideas than the mainstream narrative. I don't believe in spreading fear and misinformation, but I also don't believe in just believing everything that I'm told by the so-called experts. I believe in staying awake and alert and conscious of the present moment. I listen to my inner wisdom, and I listen to what other people say, and I carefully listen to what other people say, and I try to differentiate between information that is not wise and helpful and information that is wise and helpful. So stay awake, everyone. Bye for now. This is Shannon Kringen in Seattle. Thanks for being here. So I just finished, see, this is YouTube. I just finished my Facebook video, Facebook Live, with my fancy phone, and now I'm here on Facebook. I'm here on YouTube. Hi, YouTube people. So I hope this worked. I'm going to end the stream now. Thanks for listening. I hope that stuff that I said was helpful to somebody out there. And if not, I'm sorry. People say, don't apologize for yourself. Well, how can I not? I feel like I don't actually, the current president of the United States, he never apologizes for anything, even when he should. Like if somebody makes a mistake and screws up, I think they should say, oh, sorry about that, I was wrong, or sorry if that hurt people's feelings, or, you know what I mean? Like people constantly tell me to not apologize for myself. And it's like, I can't not apologize. Like, I truly am sorry if I ever hurt anyone's feelings or if I say things that make me sound like I don't really care. Because if I talk about death, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody that's dying right now or that's in the hospital and like might die or is severely ill and suffering. I am really sorry that those people are suffering and I care. But I don't like the way our culture thinks that you can't talk about money and you can't talk about death and you can't talk about sex or nudity or whatever. So I guess I'm honest in that way. Maybe I'm autistic. I know that autistic people, high functioning, intelligent autistic, I'm not saying this to put myself down and say that I'm not smart. I'm just saying that I feel like I'm emotionally wired a little differently. Physically, I clean my hands. Don't worry. I'm scratching my face because my face itches, and I've washed my hands, and I haven't been around anybody lately. So I'm by myself. So hopefully I'm safe with my own germs. But I have been washing my hands constantly. Even when I'm home alone, I've been washing my hands constantly. So what I was gonna, this is some of my artwork on my smartphone. Self-portraits I took of myself, and then I made it into a collage. So what I was gonna say was, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I want to be honest about how I feel because I'm kind of shy in my personal life and I don't have a lot of friends. And so I talk online more openly than I do in my personal life or my social life. And now nobody even has a social life now, right? We're all just home by ourselves. They also are endangering themselves. They don't realize that there are some people with healthy immune systems that are having complications from this virus and they might die. So the people out there in the park that are mingling and not staying careful, they might die. So basically, the planet is weeding itself, like survival of the fittest. All of the people that can't handle this virus are going to die, probably. I don't know how many people are going to die. We're guessing how many people might die. I feel really bad for the healthcare workers, though, because like, if you want to risk your own life and be around other people, that's fine. But you are endangering people that are weaker than you. But you know what? Your immune system, if it's strong, you might have complications and die from this. And we don't know yet. Some people apparently are healthy and they're dying from this. So their immune systems are overreacting. And then you're also clogging up the medical system by doing that. So I don't want to go to the hospital. You know, I don't want to be exposed to extra germs, and I also don't want to clog up the system because it's busy enough. I've heard that a lot of hospitals in Seattle are running out. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I've heard, that they're running out of beds, that they're running out of supplies. You know, how do we even know any of it's true? Like, we hear stuff on the news, unless you see it firsthand, how do you know it's true? I guess that's why people are having a hard time believing it. When you hear something really alarming and negative and scary, you don't know if it's true. But the thing is, it might not be true. But the thing is, just in case it's true, I'm being careful. So I guess that's my thing. I'm not going to pretend like everything the news says is true, but I'm not going to pretend like everything the news says is false. I don't really know what's true and what's false. We don't really know because we're not seeing it firsthand for ourselves. And I'm not going to go down to the hospital and see for myself. I'm just going to stay home. And so, um, thankfully, I have a lot of stuff I can do online with my artwork. And I'm not bragging. I'm just acknowledging what I'm grateful for, which is, yeah, like if you put yourself down, people say, oh, don't put yourself down. Oh, don't apologize. And then if you talk about all the positive things that you think you're doing, then say, oh, don't brag. Oh, don't brag. You're bragging. You know, it's like, okay, I want to focus on what I'm grateful for. I'm not trying to brag. If I come across as bragging, okay, I'm sorry. But so I believe in taking care of myself and doing whatever I can to help the people that I love. My mom and dad. My dad is in Florida and he's being extra careful. And he's healthy and has a good immune system, so hopefully he'll be okay. He's 76 years old, but he's very healthy for his age, especially. My mom is in her 70s. She's like 74, I think, or 73. And she has a boyfriend, and they're both being very careful. He's in his 80s, though, so she's worried about him. But my mom is being very careful and staying away from people. So both my parents are staying away from people for the most part. And hopefully my parents are going to be okay. And they're living on Social Security, so hopefully they're okay. Um, I don't really have a lot of friends other than that. I have people online that I don't know, a couple of my friends are not talking to me. I can't get a hold of them, so I don't know if they're okay or not. Hopefully they are. I don't know. I don't have like a big social life, so my modeling jobs was my main life. So I am feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to figure out how to find a sense of purpose because my purpose is my job as a model. So my purpose now is to make these videos, express myself, do my artwork, take care of my cat, um, ride this thing out. So have a good day, everyone. More later. Bye from Shannon Kringen in Seattle. Go to my website, shannonkringen.com, or Google Goddess Kring, Shannon Kringen. I have like music, video, podcasts, poetry, artwork. If you want to entertain yourself with my artwork, feel free to peruse my art. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.